What It Takes Radio Company presents interesting ideas, and today we are under the Impact Zone banner, right? The Impact Zone. And here's our question. Okay, Donald. Okay, Kamala. What you got? And who you got? That's important. And what you got for me that will make my life just a little bit better, starting right now. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Interesting Ideas, and today we're under the Impact banner. Now, the Impact Project, or the Impact Zone, is a way that we're going to try and help young men and women, particularly, but we can all join in understanding how we can build a business and build a life that has impact. It makes a difference for good. And we have a version of our coaching experience which can bring that to you, your business, and your people. We are in the business of helping you make an impact. And hopefully this might be a little bit helpful to you today. Yeah, you saw the title right. Okay, Donald, Kamala, what you got, who you got, and what's in it for me. There we go. 3 good questions that they have to answer. Now, in effect, here in the United States, this is coming up to the week of Labor Day, which is a week from today. And Labor Day is the first Monday of September, and it's primarily designed, as it was, to honor those people who actually honor us. They make a living by laboring. Not necessarily that they're dumb or stupid or don't use their mind, but in effect, those people who oftentimes do the hard work of, physical, manual labor. And I admire those people. I'm not one of those people. There are times where I wish I had more of that opportunity, because I know that when I get out and work hard at something, not think hard or do anything, work hard, it's good for me. And I admire the people who spend their lives working hard, oftentimes at projects that particularly aren't maybe the most exciting, maybe even projects that are dangerous or somewhat mundane. But the world could not exist without men and women who take up the call to serve me and serve others, because they do hard work. They labor, and we should honor them. Unfortunately, it's turned into just simply, a 3-day holiday for everybody, not just for the laborers. Everybody gets the day off. Even the people who don't work at all, they have the day off. It's a weekend. And it has obviously become kind of the signal for the end of the summer days. Now we got to get serious, get back to work. The schools will start, in fact, they may have even started this week, but for sure, almost all of them will start right after the Labor Day week. And so we're back at it, back to work, back to school, back to, having enjoyed summer, but, summers don't last. They never do. We're into a new season, and we're going to approach the autumn. Then the winter is coming, and then we will hopefully find ways into the new year that will make it a better year. And right now, the election in America begins. Donald Trump has won the nomination, and he will represent the Republican Party. The former president has a record, and he has millions of people who follow him, love him, and trust him. And he's got many, many people who don't particularly care for him. He is, by his own definition, a character that obviously you can love or you can hate. And he's done the stuff that makes him what he is. And he has a motto, and he's going to do it. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, was a complete surprise to us, but not completely. Joseph Biden said that he was going to run again for the presidency of the United States. He said it. He promised it. He said nothing could get in the way except God would come down. Well, as far as I know, God didn't come down, but Nancy Pelosi and some of the leaders of the Democratic Party, and they're not God, did come down. And as a result of that, the vice president, Kamala Harris, went through the process, and she has been formally named as the Democratic Party representative for president. And she has named a gentleman from Minnesota, Tim Walz, to be vice president on the ticket with her. And Mr. Trump has said that a young, enthusiastic gentleman, J.D. Vance from Ohio, will be his vice president. And what has happened is that there is now a process of getting to know them better. And, we have these next 2.5 months, it seems, to make a decision as to who we will vote for. And by all indications, it will be a close race. But who knows what will happen? After all, we didn't even know that Kamala would happen. But there it happened. Here's what I'm simply going to do. I'm going to speak for us all. And it's not just something I'm not a political activist. I'm not a political partisan. I don't try to get into politics on my programming. I'm much more of an observer. Certainly have prejudice and preferences in some respect, but I don't give any money to anybody who's running for office. I don't do that. I'm fundamentally, I understand something that has come to me, and that is that all political solutions are basically illusions. We believe that politics, it can certainly change the people, it can certainly change the policies, and it can certainly change the way things get done. And but for the most part, I don't believe it can terribly improve a situation, but it can terribly make it worse. The political solution to our issues and problems are illusions. Generally, we need to discover that the problems that we have are not political. They are much deeper, more profound, more relational, more purposeful than that. And it used to be that politics wasn't all that important because there wasn't a great deal of difference. It was more of a preference. So what? It's just like the Supreme Court nominee wasn't supposed to make a difference that much, because it was just a court, and there were not a lot of major differences that the court resolved, and obviously it had some impact in some big cases, but for the most part, it wasn't that important. But now it's very important because they have taken over a significant part of some of the processes and policies that the government comes up with or decides on them. A political state is usually not a good one. It's not a good one, usually. It's a necessity, and as one of my friends pointed out, the purpose of government is to stay out of our way, make sure that we are protected, and that we can go and live our lives in safety, in goodness, and in well-being, and do that. Be good at governing. And it wasn't to be a career. The leaders who do that was not supposed to be their job or their calling. It was something they did as a part of their civic duty. But you didn't have anybody making, 40 and 50-year careers in politics. That wasn't the way it's supposed to be. Certainly not what our founding fathers and mothers intended. But it's what we got. With that in mind, I simply say this. What you got. It's very, very important now that we know what you got to offer. What do you have in terms of your ability, your skill, and your beliefs, that you are offering us? What you got. I always loved that line. That happened to me when I was first starting my business, and I got a recommendation from a very good friend, and I really needed that. And so I began, I called this one man up and started my little pitch. And uh, he, shortly afterwards, he said, Stan, uh, I'm listening to you because I know Dan who recommended you. So you must be a good guy because Dan's a good guy. So I know what you're doing. You're trying to sell me something, or at least get me interested in something. He said, Stan, just tell me what you got. What you got? And I've used that so often, you know, in life and in business and in interviewing, whatever you are doing, what you got? What do you have to offer? What contribution can you make? What can you do? What you got? I hope they will be good at telling us that. But now, very vital and very new is who you got. See, I've always said, just informally, that they should not only tell us what they believe in, and then they choose a vice president, but tell us, who are the people that you're going to bring into this place that's going to work with you? Who are they? Now, last time what Donald Trump did, I thought it was a good thing. He actually said that if he were elected president, that he gave a list of about 25 or 30 men and women in the judiciary. He said that if he had to make a Supreme Court appointment, had that opportunity, he would seek to, I don't know if he really promised to, but seek to take it from these people. And, you could go through and look, and you could, if you were interested, you could find out, what they were like, their credentials. I think that's a good idea. I think both of them should do that now. Who you got on your list? And then I would love to know who else am I voting for in the different positions? The Secretary of State, the Department of Agriculture. Who are these people that you are, at least, obviously things change, but you're making a commitment. You're saying these are the people who I right now have the confidence in, and I believe these people could be very, very good. And so I'm planning on nominating them. Of course, they have to be approved by the United States Senate for many of their appointments, but many of them that don't, they get the job, and so who you got? I think that would be an important point. In fact, I've been asked to consult with a company that is actually launching a major effort. It's too late to do it maybe this year, but we can try. That's saying from now on, that should be a part of, we just demand it. We just expect it, that those who are running for office, they will tell us who is going to be on their team. Where is their steam coming from? Help us to know what you got and who you got. And then, what's in it for me? How will my life be better? How will my world be better for me and my children, my family? No, you're going to do something that'll make life better. Okay. We've got inflation issues. Price of shredded wheat is doubled. It's supposed to be cheap. They said that now the price of toilet paper has stayed the same kinda. It's gone up some, but the rolls are smaller. So we have inflation. The immigration and those kind of issues. What you going to do? That affects me. What you going to do about it? Home security. How are you going to increase the security that we feel? When I go to, I live in a very safe little town called Cary, North Carolina. It's one of the safest towns. It's a wonderful little town city. It's not a big city. It's a town. But when I go to visit my daughter in New York, they have a problem with a little problem with safety in some cases, in which I'm concerned for my daughter and my grandson. You know, how will my life be better in a variety of ways? Can you tell me? Uh, what are you going to do that will make my life better? I don't expect you to solve my problems. That's not your job. I don't expect you to solve my problems. But what can you do within your power um, to make life better for me, to protect me, to keep me safe, to keep my children? What can you do? And will you do it? I think I'm going to ask you to join me in just simply saying to the leadership, yeah, what you got, who you got, and what you got for me to do for me. I'd love to hear your response to this, but even more than this, why don't you give yourself that test? You have a job, you have a business, you have a career, you're seeking to improve your situation. And you need to do that because you serve or sell to or work for other people. Hey, what you got? Who you got? Who's on your team? Who's your mentors? Who you got? And how are you going to make my life better? How can you help me live a better life? There we go. I think that's a good idea. I think it's more than an interesting idea. I think if we do that, it could make a real impact. Hey, all the best and blessings to you this week. I'm not so sure what else will come from me this week, but I think it'll be good. Let's see. Best and blessings always, every day, particularly on this Monday as we meet the marketplace. May it go well for you. Take care. Bye for now. See you next time.